Yo, what up, y'all? This is the Masked Warrior coming at you again with another video. As you can see, I'm in a little bit of a different spot. I'm at a buddy's place. There's a nice little sunroom. I'm currently house sitting for a few days, so might as well. Anyhow, today we are doing SCP-001 in part 5, I think, in this series. This is still when day breaks, but this is happening in London. SCP, I can't remember the number, but it happens in London. If you guys haven't seen the video, go check it out. I'll leave a link in the description below. I posted that about 5-6 months ago now. Oh, sorry guys, I'm just lazy, and not to mention, I got a lot of shit to do. I already got fucking 5 project vehicles sitting out there back at my house. There, so well, let's get into the video. There. I'm smoking a blunt right now because I'm out of rolling papers. And this blunt is basically just a 38 that I've basically just gotten rid of all the tobacco out of, filled it up with weed, replaced the filter, and bam, you got instant blunt. It's a nice thing about these nice little 38 specials. Not sponsored, by the way. But I smoke them all the time, and kids, don't smoke. It's bad for you. I should know. Because when I started smoking, you know what? I'll leave that for a different video. Let's get into it. I don't have all that. Hang on.
Good day everyone and welcome back to SCP Illustrated, entry log 93.
I'm using a different
Today is an
speaker too,
exciting
just so
day.
you
We
know.
are going to be revisiting an old SCP-001 entry, namely When Day Breaks. But this time, we're taking the story to Unlondon in an original custom story written for me by Dr. Sumerian. He did an outstanding job with this story, so please go and check out his channel for loads more SCP content, including tips on how to write better, SCP discussions and read-throughs of his own entries. Now, this is an Apollyon class SCP, and this video does contain strong language, violence, sustained threat, and some sad sort of emotional scenes. But without any further ado, let's get into this.
I probably shouldn't be smoking weed while doing this, but I don't fucking care. Finally got a fucking ounce for my weed guy.
The following data release has been authorized by the following council members and administration staff.
And I ain't fucking wasting it.
Mom, Dad, I'm sorry.
Access audio file, recording 1. My name is Jacob Hawkes. Dr. Oliver told us that recording our thoughts could keep us from going crazy down here in the dark. I'm neither bored nor scared enough to worry about that, but orders are orders. On the surface, I was a containment specialist. I spent most days either here in London or the primary British containment site in Kent. I work with Kira North, the site's current security head. I wouldn't call us partners, but we do good work together. Every day we find something new to study. Last month we noticed that you can grow plants down here. Now, how a plant can undergo photosynthesis without the photo part is beyond me. But we've got a growing little farm going near the Hyde Park base. They don't grow very fast, mind you, but they do grow. Considering this place is supposed to replicate London, it actually makes some sense. Even the most urban cities have plants and parks. As long as we try to keep a base down here, though, I'm going to have work. God, can you imagine doing this for the rest of your life? The Bobbies are a damn menace, constantly harrying the researchers, Sign up for the Foundation, they said. Fight humanoid abominations for the good of mankind, they said. They were surprisingly honest in the brochure. One thing has begun to worry me, though. We lost contact with the outside this morning. Of course, that's not the first time it's happened, but usually by midday we get a check-in from above ground station. Nothing so far today. I'm sure it's nothing, but we're supposed to talk about the stuff that bothers us on this thing, so here I am. On top of it all, there's a marked uneasiness among the staff. There hasn't been an attack by the bobbies all day, which is even weirder than losing contact with the surface. Elise said she thinks something went wrong groundside, an XK maybe. She's always freaking out over little things, but I ordered her not to say that to anyone else. It made me worried, and we don't need that spreading to everyone else. She pouted a little when I gave her the order, but she'll get over it. I still convinced Kira, though, that we needed to send a patrol topside to check out the substation and figure out what's going on.
Down to the roach.
It's likely nothing, but we can't take any chances. That's all. You know, I actually do feel a little better. Alert. Transmission received from Site 19. This message will repeat. This is a general alert from Site 19 and the O5 Council. All Foundation personnel are to shelter in place. Direct exposure to sunlight is to be avoided at all costs.
I'm gonna pack a bowl and a pipe real quick. If you all smoke them along with me, feel free to join in. Where's my weed? There's my weed. I don't know what strain this is, but it's pretty good shit for I got for an ounce. Well, a little under an ounce. It was about 20 grams. But still, that's a decent amount. I know this is kind of a tiny nug, but most of my shit I've grinded down to ration it. I don't know if the camera can see that. Come on, focus. Focus. Whatever. It's gonna... Still good weed, though. As you can see, I got some ground up stuff right here from when I was rolling a couple of joints earlier, or a few days ago.
Under no circumstances are communications with SCP-001 entities to be initiated. We know they're trying to contact you. It doesn't matter. They're all dead. Do not respond. Do not acquiesce to any of their requests. All Foundation personnel should revise new evacuation plans. Site 19 is no longer secure due to several security lapses. The off-world colonization project is currently on hold until the site is resecured. Learn from our mistakes, but don't come here yet. Shit, it's an event. Open fire! At this audio file recording 2.
Here we go again.
Dr. Oliver spread her brains across her office wall with a bullet this morning. You'd have thought that the bosses would have changed their minds about the whole solo therapy thing, but apparently it's still in the rules. Turns out, I had the dumb luck of being in London when the sun went wrong. There's no confusion about what is happening, just the whys. If you spend any amount of time in the sunlight, you start to melt. Spend long enough, and there's no turning back. God, that really is the new normal. All the people on the radio say the same thing. Nothing's wrong. Come out and see the sun. James's wife came on the radio today and begged him to come up. We had to hold him back, but I don't think it matters anymore. I watched half my team go out last night and melt in the moonlight. This morning they came back and asked us to let them in. I wouldn't be surprised if James ate a bullet before the date. The welcome message. I gotta go. Something's coming down the stairs. My fellow citizens, if you're hearing this, then the world as we knew it has finished. The sun has broken, the ground heaves with the tramp of terrible feet,
I love this
and all the horror and madness have broken free to exact their vengeance on the world of men. Those who sought to contain it are killed or scattered. We soon learn that to attempt to fight these creatures is almost invariably to face one's death. Billions have been transformed into monstrous abominations, and there is nothing, was nothing we could do to stop them. Evil has raised its bloody flag in all nations of the world and crowned victory to the broken
Okay,
soul.
that's about it.
Yes, this is. But there is a new hope. Welcome to unlondon, a
Excuse me.
city of the survivors, a city of the free.
Sorry, guys.
Together,
Rip
fellow
headphones
citizens,
users. I'm
we
sorry.
will wait and prepare for the new beginning,
Whew.
the grand new
Get my
world
limit.
that is
I
soon
need
to
a
come.
ciggy.
Let the world above burn, we will endure. Let the monsters have their world, we will prepare. And let the ground tremble with a new Armageddon as evil consumes itself. For I tell you, citizen, upon the day of the ruination of man, their insatiable appetites will turn them against one another in their endless lust for death. We will wait. And I tell you, citizen, that there will be a new dawn, and you will emerge from unlondon, blinking in the light of an uncorrupted sun, as our children play and laugh in the bones of horrors long dead. And we will walk, hand in hand to the sea, our faces skywards, as that rising sun ushers in the new age of man. And you will gather, citizen, at my feet, as I summon unlondon from its rest, and it shall burst, phoenix-like, from the ashes of the old. And on that day, citizen, there shall be a new order, as we raise our flag over the entire world. I welcome you to unlondon, the last city and the first. Access audio file recording 3.
James, it's Amelia. I'm not sick anymore. I was at the doctor's office when the light changed us all. Now there's no sickness. I don't know if you can hear me, but you should come upstairs. It's so beautiful here. There's no more hunger, no more war, no more suffering. We all are linked together in harmony, in peace. Your mother is here. Your father too. All of us are waiting for you, James. Remember when you proposed? The sun's at the beach in Botany Bay. The whole world was on pause while you got down on one knee and told me you loved me. You told me you didn't want to live without me, James. Were you lying? James, we miss you so much. The doctor said it was going to be a little boy. Come back to us, James. It's so beautiful here.
Access audio file recording 4.
Well, shut up then. Because if we don't record something, no one's going to know what the fuck happened. Look, I'm doing this. Keep an eye out and don't let them see you.
We lost. Hard. After the attack on the entryway, we fell back to the Hyde Park tent city. It was a beautiful little community of the stuffiest men and women you'd ever met. Supplies would have lasted us a year or two at least, and by then we'd hoped to scrounge some sunlights from above ground for the carrot and potato seeds. Before things went tits up, for the second time anyway. We all got about 4 hours of sleep before we woke up screaming, all of us. I remember dreaming about this giant eye looking at me across an endless horizon. It was angry, disappointed. It was so hot. I was trying to breathe and it burned my lungs. Suddenly my clothes caught on fire. I didn't die or even pass out. My skin started to bubble and melt, and the eye looked satisfied. And that's when I noticed the thing had eyebrows. How I missed that before, I don't know, but then it was a face. And then a hand came at me from across the horizon, and a flock of pigeons came from behind me and let out this terrible scream. They attacked the hand, pecking at it until it was nothing but bone, but it still kept coming. It scooped up the puddle that was me and brought me to its mouth. And then I woke up. I think the city was trying to warn us. I don't know how this place works, but those stupid pigeon eye things were going crazy in the air above us. They could see it coming even though we couldn't. The men we lost last night knew everything about our defences, and there's of flesh pouring down the stairs now, spreading its way across the city. I don't know how many people made it out of Hyde Park, but it wasn't many. James's leg's a mess, and Elise is out of breath. The only one keeping things together is Kira, and she kind of wants to leave the other two behind. I told her we needed to record another message, and she gave me a look like I was going crazy. Maybe I am. But I'm not leaving Elise behind, and if we kept running, those things would have gotten her. I don't know what we can do for James, but we're trying. The bleeding stopped at least. When the attack came, our perimeter defences didn't trigger, but thankfully we were already awake. We opened fire, but I'm not sure what we thought was going to be accomplished by shooting a giant wave of flesh. It rolled over everything and everyone who didn't run. Kira thinks if we could burn it, we could do some damage, but where the fuck are we going to get fuel down here? The only positive to all of this is that the bobbies were fighting on our side. Fat lot good they did. I thought we were dead, but the speaker crackled to life, and that same damn voice as always told us we could find refuge in Parliament. So we're going there now.
Shit. Get James, we've got to move.
I hope this isn't the end of our story. Access audio file recording 5. This city was meant to be a shining beacon in the dark against the fall of the world of men. You mock it. You destroy all that lives and turn it into more of yourself. I give you this one warning. Go back to your corrupted son. There is nothing to be found here but darkness, and your light has no power here. Burn and answer for your crimes, abominations. I cast you into perdition's flame.
25 kill streak nuke.
Access audio file recording 6. We had to leave James behind.
Tactical nuke.
I think he knew he was going to die. Kira offered to blow his brains out so he wouldn't get taken, but he said he wanted to see his family. I don't know what to make of that, but I hope he's happy now. Kira, Elise and I made our way to Westminster. I'd never seen so many bobbies in one place before. They parted just enough for us to make it to the Parliament building. A few days ago I'd have been terrified, but it felt comforting. Strange days indeed. Parliament was empty, except for an army of unlondon's monster guards. Most of them guarded the door, and a few guided us through the maze inside the building. If they weren't there, I swear we'd never have found our way. We came out in a room with a tank at the centre, large enough to hold a person, but it was empty. Just a slick of liquid along the floor that led to another open door. The bobbies can't talk, so they just motioned to the door with their hands. It was a bit comical to me. I mean, what were you going to do? Run back outside? There was a set of stairs going down. We could hear the door close behind us, and then we heard a loud crash. We arrived at the bottom of the stairs on a sandy beach. There was a little wooden platform with a small steam-powered ship, barely visible in the dark, attached to it with a rope. We could see Unlondon looming above us, but there was no other way back, except back up the stairs that we fled through. There was a mooring for a second boat, but it was long gone. Aerial surveillance of this area last month didn't see the boats, and Kira and I have no idea where they'd come from. Not that it matters. When someone throws you a life vest, you take it, not quibble over where it came from.
Yeah.
We knew there was no other way out, so we climbed aboard. Once we were in the water and a decent distance away, something burst at the centre of the city. The flames, they burn bright and white. The flesh is sizzling and screaming. The whole city is dying and the monsters with it. If this river is an approximation of the Thames, we should reach open water soon. I honestly think the ship knows where it's going somehow. We barely have to steer at all. Elise found a note in the engine room. It said, "Gather your friends, gather your things, and gather your light. The path to Undublin is dark but ends, and if you can make it, I'll save you a pint." I'm looking forward to taking them up on that.
That's pretty. I'm just gonna leave it off right there. That was a good SCP file right there. I swear to God, the more and more I research SCP, the more and more people who are good at writing and good stories and good SCP files. I don't know. I'm stoned. I just gotta say, this is fucking awesome. And each file I read just keeps getting better and better. Or each file I watch, for example. I don't fucking know. Anyhow, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm gonna take one last hit off the bowl before I go. There it is. I probably already showed it to you. Believe it or not, guys, this piece went missing on me for 5 months. I found it in my car underneath the freaking seat. Did you believe that? Jesus. Yeah. This is some good weed. It really is. Alright. Like, comment, subscribe. Shout out to my boy Drago Red. I mean, not Drago Red. He used to be known as Drago Red. He's known as Little Cough now. I'll leave a link to his YouTube channel in the description. He makes banger videos and makes banger freaking songs, man. Go check him out. Peace and love to all y'all.